Hello everyone, Namaste. Firstly, as it's Janmashtami today, a happy Janmashtami to all of you. Hope the blessings of little Krishna always shower upon us. Namaste and welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, I showed you the preps for this day, remember? Today, I will be sharing all the traditional cooking that I am going to do for the bhog. First, I made a small rangoli in front of the tulsi plant and I did the regular puja which is mandatory. I wore the sari in the traditional way as my mom-in-law used to do the same to cook on these auspicious days. After the puja, I came into the kitchen to start off with the day's cooking. On this day, we cook either 9 or 5 or 3 types of traditional dishes depending upon one's interest and patience. So, today I am preparing 9 types of special dishes along with a curry, dal, chutney and sambar. I know, it's a long list, but hardly do we make such long, delicious dishes, right? So, on such auspicious day, I do take out time and make sure that I make some special thalis. Whenever I have a long list of items to prepare, what I do is first I prep things which take time and need much effort to do them. First, I am putting the rice to cook as it takes time and I need it for tamarind rice, coconut rice and kheer. So I am putting 3 pressure cookers respectively on top of the stove so that they get cooked while I get the other things worked out. After this, I am preparing to grind the dal for the sweet dish. I soaked 1 glass moong dal and half a glass chana dal overnight and I am grinding them into a smooth paste without adding any water into it. This step is important as adding water will make the idlis of this paste very mushy and we don't want that. So after grinding the paste, I am putting them to steam in my idli cooker for 10 minutes. In the meanwhile, I am getting the coconuts prepped. I always make sure that the tough preps are done before so that during the process of cooking, I don't have to worry about these things not done. I will be using 2 coconuts for coconut rice, sweet and as a garnish for sambar and boiled chana. So, I am breaking up the coconuts here first with the help of the stone and hitting the coconuts like this will help them release from their shelf faster. So as grating and removing these coconuts is a time-taking process, I am dicing them up and grinding them beforehand and that will make my work easier. And yes, clean as you go. I will keep saying this. While I was prepping the coconuts, the idlis were also done and the knife came out smooth. So I turned off the flame, closed the lid and kept it aside. Now let's prepare the chutney first. For chutney, I have to prepare a chutney mix first. So I am taking a tadka pan, add some oil into it, urad dal, mustard seeds, fenugreek seeds, dry red chilies, slit green chilies, hing, peanuts and in the end, some coriander leaves. I am going to make yellow cucumber chutney today. So for that I peeled the yellow cucumber, removed the seeds from inside it and diced it into small fine cubes. In the meanwhile, the chutney mix also cooled down, so I am going to grind it into a fine paste. Now to the diced cubes, I am adding 2 tablespoons of tamarind paste and the ground chutney mix. To that I am adding some salt, some haldi and mixing it with hand nicely so that all the cubes of the yellow cucumber gets marinated, gets coated with this mixture, and I am going to leave it aside for it to get marinated. In the end, top it with some coriander leaves and add a hing tadka to it. That's it, chutney is ready. Next I am prepping for sambar here. In a pressure cooker, I took the vegetables that I wanted. I took bottle gourd, drumsticks, carrots, tomatoes, a little haldi, little water. I also added some pumpkin cubes to it, sweet pumpkin cubes to it, and pressure cooked it for only 1 whistle. Oh, I forgot to mention, I also added curry leaves and some cut green chilies to it. Next I am preparing brinjal ginger green chili curry. This is a mandate curry for us in all the festivals. I don't know why, but we all crave for this curry during festival times. So it will be a routine thing. I have also shared this recipe in the Ugadi vlog. So the same way I am preparing here. In the tadka, I have added chana dal, urad dal, mustard seeds, jeera, dry red chilies, hing, and I have added a little turmeric there so that it brings a nice golden color to the brinjals. I added curry leaves and I added the brinjals there, and now I am adding little water and some salt, and then I am allowing the brinjals to cook until they become soft. Once the brinjals become nice and soft, I am adding the ground ginger green chili paste to it and mixing it well. Once the ginger green chili paste is added, let it cook for a few more minutes until the raw smell of it goes, and then add loads of coriander because this enhances the flavor of this curry. After this, close the lid and it's done. Now the veggies for the sambar are also done, so I am transferring them into another bowl in which I am going to add some more water and allowing it to simmer until one boil comes, along with some salt. In the meanwhile, the rice for kheer is also done. I always pressure cook the rice for kheer a little extra so that it will be easy to mash them. I am mashing the rice once and then I am adding it to the boiled milk here. After adding the rice to the boiled milk, I am allowing it to simmer along with the milk for few minutes so that the rice soaks all the milk flavor into it. In the meanwhile, I also grated some gur or jaggery powder and I am adding it here. Make sure you are adding the jaggery powder only after switching off the flame, else it will lead the milk to become paneer. After everything is done, I am adding a little bit of elaichi powder here and mixing everything well. On the top, I am just adding few drops of ghee, and then here I am fine chopping some dry fruits so that I can roast them in ghee and add them to the kheer. And I am going to make semia paisam and I am going to add the same dry fruits garnish to that as well. So here I am multitasking. I am roasting all the dry fruits together so that I don't have to do it in batches. Half I am going to use for kheer, half I am going to use for semia paisam. In the meanwhile, my sambar is also done. Here I am adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of sambar powder along with some tamarind paste. I am also adding some jaggery powder and allowing it to cook for a while. In the meanwhile, my dal is also done. I forgot to shoot that I have pressure cooked dal along with tomatoes and some curry leaves and green chilies. So to this pressure cooked dal, I am going to add some salt, haldi and red chili powder and some tamarind paste. So here I am multitasking. I am checking on both the sambar and dal. This is how it happens usually on a day, very hectic day where I have to cook so many dishes. It becomes very difficult for me to shoot one by one. So here I am showing everything to you simultaneously. To this I have added the regular usual tadka of urad dal, mustard seeds, hing, jeera and dry red chilies. And I'm going to add the same type of tadka here for sambar also. The only extra thing I added in this tadka is some little fenugreek seeds, methi seeds. And to both dal and sambar, I garnished with coriander leaves and I'm dishing them out. So with this, my regular dishes are done, and now I'm completely coming over to the special dishes which I'm going to make. So this is the sweet which we call in South India as burelu. I don't know what you guys call it. It's a sweet dish, so I'm going to mention them as burelu only. So here I made small cubes of the steamed idlis and I'm mashing them with the help of the mixer grinder. Now in a kadai I am going to prepare this. For 1 glass dal I am going to add 1.5 glasses of sugar. Just to make sure that the sugar doesn't get crystallized, I added 2 tablespoons of water, and to that I am adding the grated coconut. And after mixing everything well, I added the mashed dal here and mixing it everything together until it forms a lump-like or dough-like structure. In the end, add some elaichi powder, mix everything well, cover it and keep it aside to cool down. This sweet is made by dipping the balls of the dough mixture which we made right now into the dosa batter, for which I am preparing the dosa batter right now. And for dosa batter, I soaked the dal yesterday night itself. After this, I started preparing for coconut rice. In a kadai, I have taken some oil, added chana dal, urad dal, mustard seeds, jeera, dry red chilies, hing, curry leaves, slit green chilies, and some green peas to it. I have taken the fat green chilies which are not going to be too spicy, and they can be eaten just like that, fried. So they add a nice taste to the rice too. And here I have added grated coconut and I'm mixing everything well until the raw smell of the coconut disappears, and then I'm adding it to the rice. I'll be mixing it after it cools down completely. In the meanwhile, the rice for my tamarind rice has also cooled down, so I'm adding some salt, haldi, raw hing and raw oil here along with some curry leaves. Mixing them all together gives them a nice color, and also the flavor of the hing is caught by all the rice into this. Now in a kadai, for tamarind rice, I am going to take some oil, and for tadka I added chana dal, urad dal, mustard seeds. I am not going to add jeera here. Peanuts, dry red chilies, whole red chilies, and some slit green chilies. Once the green chilies are fried nicely, then I added around 3 to 4 tablespoons of tamarind paste and cooked it until the raw smell of the tamarind disappears. Now I am going to make semia payasam. I am going to ghee roast vermicelli in a pan so that the vermicelli won't stick to each other when I add them into the milk. In the meanwhile, I am also prepping for black chana fry here. In a kadai, I have taken some oil, urad dal, mustard seeds, jeera, dry red chilies, and mixed them well, added hing in the end, some curry leaves, and added the boiled chana to it, boiled black chana to it. I mixed them well, and in the meanwhile, I was checking the vermicelli also. They were nicely fried, and then I am adding them to boiling milk here. Make sure that you add it slowly, otherwise there is a risk of milk splattering. Likewise, my chana is also done. I have added some haldi, some salt and grated coconut to it to enhance the flavor. I am mixing everything well, and this is done. To semia payasam, for 1 glass of semia, I have added half a glass of sugar and I have topped it with elaichi powder and roasted dry fruits. That's it. 2 dishes are done simultaneously. Now for vadas, I am preparing the vada batter. I have taken the grinder because the vadas will come very smooth if I use the grinder. I have added some salt along with ginger and green chili paste to this itself. Now I am making pulagam, in which I am going to add rice along with some grains of moong dal. This is called a special dish in our tradition. This is also counted as one of the 9 special dishes. And I am pressure cooking it for 3 whistles. Simultaneously, I've also put the rice to cook here. And yes, clean as you go. Next, I'm preparing for dahi vade here. I've taken some curd into a dish and I've added some salt along with mustard, green chili and ginger paste. I'm topping it with some coriander leaves and curry leaves. In the meanwhile, my tamarind paste is also cooled down, so I'm mixing everything well with the rice together here. When my mother-in-law used to cook, this was my work. All the back-end process was done by me, and I seriously miss those days. Anyhow, to the tamarind rice, always make sure to add some sugar and methi powder in the end. That will enhance the flavor immensely. And after that, pressing the rice makes all the job. So I have pressed the rice and covered it and kept it aside. In the meanwhile, I am also mixing the coconut rice here. That vessel was not sufficient for me to mix everything well, so I've taken a bigger vessel. Sometimes kitchen utensils also play a very major role, right? So I'm mixing everything well here and I'm covering the lid of the coconut rice and keeping it aside. While I was juggling with all this, my mom also came and she started helping me with making the sweets. And here I'm adding tadka of urad dal, hing, jeera, mustard seeds and dry red chilies to the curd for dahi vade. Here I started making the sweets. All you need to do is take the ball of the sweet dough into your hand and dip them into the dosa batter and put them into the oil, just like you do for aloo bondas, the same way. This is a mandate dish for this festival, so all of us make this dish for sure. And my sister-in-law also came, and my mom and sister-in-law were helping me here in making vades. And in the meanwhile, I went into the puja room to check all the decorations, incomplete decorations that I had to finish off, just like decorating with flowers and all. I had to look into there, so I went there. My mom is taking out the vadas and dipping them into the curd there to make the dahi vades. So here I am making the idols, turmeric idols of Ganesh, Lord Ganesh and Gauri, Goddess Gauri. I don't know how to explain them properly, and that was the reason why I couldn't make the previous vlog in English, because the authenticity of the rituals is going to miss out there. I hope I'm explaining it properly here. So we have a tradition of giving the first tambulam or first this is the plate which you are seeing. This is called as tambulam. This plate is first given to goddess, and then I am going to distribute the others to all the married ladies who are going to come in the evening. This is a ritual for married women which we do very wholeheartedly. For just like you guys do your karwa chauth, the same way we do this function for us. It's for married ladies, for their husbands. So yes, this is my goddess, and I decorated it with all the flowers. And these are the new clothes which we are going to wear in the evening. The 5 types of fruits. And yes, now was the puja time. I started early in the morning at around 6 o'clock, and now it was 11. So it took me around easily 5 hours to complete all the dishes, but I'm very proud of myself for finishing everything. So here are the dishes: coconut rice, vade, we call it garelu, and tamarind rice, pulihora, curry, chutney, dal, sambar. Here boiled chana fry, semia paisam, and that is kheer. This is dahi vade. These are burelu, and that is pulagam. So 9 types of special dishes along with curry, dal, sambar and chutney. It was a full feast that day. So after lunch, I got ready for the evening function where all the ladies would come and take the blessings of the goddess. I got ready first, as otherwise I won't get time later. So I got ready first and I'm getting the kids ready here. I couldn't take any clips of the evening as I don't know if others would like me taking clips or not. So that's all for today. I hope you like this vlog. If yes, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I just tried to share a small glimpse of my function, my festival here. Hope you all liked it. See you all soon with a new video. Until then, take care, keep smiling. Bye bye.